This game is still in super early access. It is another extraction shooter though. It's kind of insane how it's all happening right now. Each company taking a shot at the genre, and honestly, I'm loving the game so far. I've put a couple of hours into the game already, and it's got a solid foundation. It is still in early access, so I did get some performance hiccups and similar issues, but overall, the gunplay, the movement, it was all super fun. Trying out different characters was also quite refreshing for this type of genre. Learning their strengths and weaknesses was quite fun, as it makes sure that this genre doesn't get stale too fast, as the only thing you can usually equip or change is your guns or your shield. Checking Steam charts shows the game is growing quite fast. I'm just a little bit worried that it might be too fast where people find bugs, glitches, and it just turns them off Marathon entirely. Arc Raiders is still up there, and I'm honestly a little bit surprised. I would have thought this extraction shooter game would have calmed down a little bit, but it's still doing its thing. So it's good to see some competition. It's going to be quite similar to Overwatch where they had such a big grasp on people. Then Guna Rivals appeared, and that sort of changed everything up for them. And this is going to be a good thing for Arc Raiders and also Marathon to ensure that we're actually getting the best type of game. It might show some flaws that Arc Raiders didn't see before, but it's just going to make both the games super polished, and I hope it buffs out both Marathon and Arc Raiders. Alright, I'll actually start talking about the game Marathon now. It is your typical extraction shooter. You have your inventory, you have your merchants. That's sort of the standard of the extraction shooters right now. But what makes it just that little bit different is that the merchants actually give you the permanent upgrades. Instead of in Arc Raiders where you just spam all your points into a certain branch, you actually need to work with the merchants. They're also called sponsors in this game, but you need to work with them collectively. So that means you need to level up within the organization, and they can only give you certain buffs. They can only give you certain equipment. So make sure that you actually are following a little bit of the story and that you're sort of going into each branch and making sure that you actually play the game as how they intended. Now I'll talk about the shooting. It's a typical FPS shooter, you aim and fire. There are throwables, but at this moment it does feel a little bit limited. You mainly have stims or sort of upgrades instead of grenades. It's not as abundant. The main thing that I think at the moment is holding itself back though is the guns. I do feel the responsiveness. I do like how it feels when you are actually shooting. They do take that futuristic response where they have energy clips that look like Game Boy cartridges. But I just feel like once someone's behind you, you take 5 bullets and you're done by this particular weapon that you still haven't unlocked yet. So I guess it's just them trying to find the balance of sort of what isn't too overpowered while still being fun to try other guns out. I think that would be the main thing at the moment that I would want Marathon to look a little bit more into is sort of the gunplay and what you can do with your gun instead of just it being a shooting gun. Because it's futuristic, they can definitely add a little bit more onto that instead of just fire bullet to shoot and do damage. But I'll only be able to know more as they develop the game further. Scrolling through Marathon's Reddit, I did get a lot of mixed signals. Some people were enjoying the game, while others were writing essays about how they hated it. I mean, right now this is a video. It is quite similar to what I am doing, but I'm sort of trying to critique it as much as I can in a positive mindset, instead of just saying I hate the game. I do agree with some Reddit posts that the UI can definitely be updated. I do, again, understand this is just the beta. I did enjoy my time playing this game, though. I did play primarily as the assassin, as the smoke screens and the invisibility cloak was actually quite fun to play with. I was able to revive my teammates, get through the extractions while fully cloaked. I would say this game does show a little bit of flaws that do need to get buffed out, but I definitely do see how this game can keep going. Let's go and read a Reddit post that I had just found to see what the community also says about. I literally just found this post off the Reddit and I just wanted to have a little read. They do have 60 hours apparently, but I'm just gonna have a little skim through and explain sort of if those points do resonate with me. so I'm gonna have a little read. I'm a long time player of Arc Raiders, Tarkov, The Cycle, Delta Force, Hunt Showdown, and every other extraction shooter under the sun. I also put 60 hours between 2 marathon betas, so I'm not talking out of my ass when I say this shit is pretty fucking mint. Bungie, through the trials and tribulations of several betas, have managed to dial the extraction experience into something I thoroughly enjoy. They nail a decent balance between difficulty and arcadeness. And arcadiness. I'd put this game smack dab in the middle of Escape from Tarkov and Arc Raiders on the extraction shooter spectrum. The game runs very well, and the vibe and setting sucks you in. Map design is mint, the other two that aren't in here are even better than Dire and Perimeter. Bungie certainly don't disappoint when it comes to gunplay. Everything feels crisp and snappy, most of the weapons feel good to use at any level, and the meta shouldn't be overshadowed by few weapons. PvP in general feels similar in the vibe to Destiny, Crucible, and Halo. Low recoil, low movement, I personally enjoy it. I'm gonna have a little talk about this top bit, at least at the moment. Game does run quite nice, wasn't making my PC shit itself too hard. I do agree with the crispiness and snappiness of the weapon, and most weapons did feel nice. I just think they definitely can do more with the weapons. It just doesn't feel like, I don't know, it's just very similar to your Arc Raider guns, sort of. But I feel like the way at the moment, where was it? Where he's talking about in the middle of Escape from Tarkov and Arc Raiders, I do definitely understand. I've played both those games for quite a couple of hours, so I do understand that portion, but we'll keep reading now. Enemies feel decent, very similar feeling to Destiny enemies. That, I actually like that. Destiny, 100%. But of course, the AI isn't the primary focus of an extraction shooter. They act as roadblocks, make you expose yourself, etc. Yep, 100%. They work perfectly fine in this way and are dangerous enough to warrant respect. They act predictably, you generally know what you're getting into. This is much better compared to some other games. I do agree with that. I think it has a similar sort of feeling as Arc Raiders with their smaller enemies, not with the larger ones, because Arc Raiders just pumps you. But let's keep reading. Shield health seems to be in a good spot. Your runner, if you didn't know, starts with 120 base HP. Each shield bar is 20 HP on top of that. So grey is 140, green is 160, etc. This feels fine. People in blues and purples don't feel unkillable. Apparently in the first beta, apparently feels something like that. I didn't play the first beta, I only played the one that's out at the moment. But let's see. Usually the first shot wins, which is how it should be. Shields are a little extra insurance for mistakes that don't make you They don't make you a god. The Cycle suffered badly from this, and Tarkov to an extent. As a side effect of the TTK, you can't get head-eyes in 0.2 seconds, which is nice. You get ample chance to fight back. Time to kill. That's time to kill. So you won't just get pumped with like 2 headshots and you're dead, which, yes, definitely there were, it's like a couple second fights where either you can run or you can stay. Don't pay attention to most of the negativity going around on Reddit. That's mostly people rage farming or people who've played 2 matches and quit. Yep, 100%, that's what I'm saying. Coming from a long time extraction shooter player with probably 5k hours between every type under the sun, there's something special here. This is by Broby, so make sure if you guys do see this, let's go. Let's pop that up. But this is quite similar to what I've been saying, at least through this whole thing. It's got something there. They haven't honed it fully yet, but there is something there, and I am actually genuinely very ready for them to just keep this going. This is like, overall, this is what I would probably be saying. Like, he adds the extra little tidbits, but overall, this game, I can see it doing something that hopefully no one else does. Because it's set in futuristic mindset, I bet. Since it's set in a futuristic sort of setting, it's gonna be very, 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 very different than what we've had before. Everything before this felt a bit more militaristic with your Tarkov, you know. You have to manage everything. Arc Raiders did reduce that quite a bit with bigger shields and similar different sort of mechanical weapons, but hopefully because this is extra futuristic, they're going to be able to do something that hopefully no one's going to be able to see. And I'm really excited for this game to fully release and for me to properly play it once everything's basically ironed out.